Hi, I'm Peggy Bradshaw, and this is my Realtor of the Week. I hope you enjoy it.
Born and raised here in Tampa, actually third generation. And my parents were raised here, my grandparents, and I love living here. South Tampa primarily residents, but through a lot of the work that I've done here in the community, I've traveled all over the West Central Florida coast. For a while, when I started out after going to college at USF and then completing my master's degree, I worked for a derivatives company, actually an investment bank called Salomon Brothers. They brought their operations unit here down to Tampa a while back, and I did their international swaps and derivatives negotiations for some time. And that was kind of a really cool start, really exciting. Got to talk to people all over the world about, doing these types of, investments, which was really interesting. That actually, 4 years later, led to some decisions that I wanted to make because I had children. And things were really going places, and I was working really, really hard, long hours. And when I had my firstborn, I thought, I really need to take a step back. I'm not going to be able to dedicate my time to my children like I had hoped. And so I went into the nonprofit realm, and that was a big shift. I worked in organ donation for about 9 years. Worked for a company called LifeLink, who handles the organ procurement and donations for our community. They were actually #1 in the country. And what I did was what they call the liaison work, which was to go into each of the hospitals and talk to them about the importance of donating organs and working with the volunteers and recipients of organ transplants and telling them, how wonderful it was that they were able to have this opportunity. And even some of the donor families would come in and say, this was a great opportunity for them to help with the death of their loved one, to be able to live on through someone else. So I worked with administrators, nurses, all types of staff to make that happen. In fact, Health and Human Services brought in a consultant to find out why we were #1 and selected me, the only employee at LifeLink, to talk to people nationally about how we did what we do, which is develop the relationships with the staff in order to improve our numbers. So I got to do consultant work for many, many years doing that. So that was pretty exciting. When I finished organ donation, I went to San Diego, did it over there, the same thing, and then had an opportunity to come back to Tampa and be the community relations manager for Tampa General Hospital. So I did that for 12 years. And that was all prevention education, bringing the physicians out into the community, talking to them about how they can improve their health overall, and getting the physicians out so that they could meet our community and learn more about different conditions. And then we were the charity arm of the hospital. So I was responsible for deciding which philanthropies we would give to. So that is what led to my platform in my real estate business. Not only because I was born and raised here, but because I obviously care very much about my community. I've worked very hard to improve the health of the community. I've put together health collaboratives. From a charity perspective, I've been philanthropic for many, many years, and that's what I do in my business. I took what I did with Tampa General, applied that to my real estate business when I started. My husband and I work together, and each time we close on a home, we let the client choose a charity as long as it's local and I'm aware of who they are, and I give 5% of what I make to the charity. It's in their honor, the client's there, everybody feels great, the charity's like, whoa, this kind of came out of nowhere, this is nice. And so we've been able to give to Champions for Children, the Humane Society. We're giving next week to the critical care unit of the manatees for Lowry Park Zoo. We have a scholarship fund that's been set up through USF through this, the Boys and Girls Clubs. So each time I do it, it's a celebration. It's not just the end of a deal, here's the keys, here's a nice little gift. It's investing back in the community, and it just feels great. And the charity loves it, the client loves it, I love it. We all walk away feeling really good. So the legacy that we hope to leave behind through growth of our business is that we give more and more and more through what we're able to accomplish together. I've been on many boards, the YMCA, Champions for Children. Now I'm the Vice President of Walk Bike Tampa. We work to improve the streets and sidewalks so it's pedestrian and bike safe for everyone. And Doug volunteers a lot of his time. He does more of the behind the scenes stuff. So he goes in on Saturdays to feed the homeless and he helps coordinate the clinical care that's provided there. It's a ministry called Matthew 25 through the First Presbyterian Church downtown Tampa. So he goes in there and makes sure that the clinical staff is set up because they provide medical care, not only just food. And then he's always volunteering. Like last night we were up till 11 o'clock making chicken tetrazzini for somebody who had a baby or somebody who had a death in the family. And it's like,
Wow.
So he's just constantly thinking of, ways to help people, and it's really sweet.
It's very sweet. You guys seem to be the perfect match.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, Mary Jane.
You're welcome.
All right, have a great day.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.